Welcome back to the channel Coins Collector, and thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you are all doing well, because we are about to dive deep into one of the most fascinating stories in American coin collecting. Get ready, because in today's video we are going to talk about a coin that might look small at first glance but carries an enormous history, incredible value, and a level of mystery that still excites collectors all across the world. We are focusing on the 1945 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny from the United States of America. Yes, that humble little copper coin that once passed through countless hands in everyday life, buying candy at the store, paying for newspapers, or jingling in the pockets of American soldiers coming home from the Second World War, has today reached unbelievable levels of worth in the rare coin market. Imagine this: a single cent struck in 1945, now known to sell for as much as $996,000. That is right, just under $1 million for a penny that once cost exactly 1 cent to own. Before we break into the numbers and current market values, let us first set the stage with some history. The year 1945 was a landmark in world history. It marked the end of World War II, the return of American troops, the rebuilding of Europe and Asia, and the beginning of a new era of peace and prosperity. In the United States, coins continued to circulate as they always had, and the 1-cent wheat penny, designed by Victor David Brenner and first minted in 1909, was still the everyday copper coin of choice. On the obverse side it featured the classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a design chosen to honor one of America's greatest leaders. On the reverse side it displayed 2 wheat stalks, a simple yet beautiful symbol of growth and prosperity. Millions upon millions of these coins were struck in 1945, at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Because of those high mintages, the typical 1945 penny is common and still turns up today in pocket change, coin jars, and inherited collections. You might find a well-worn example worth just a couple of cents above face value. But here is where the story gets exciting. While most 1945 pennies are common, certain rare conditions, errors, and variations elevate a humble coin into a prize worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Collectors and historians have traced these rare pieces for decades. Some pennies were struck on leftover planchets from wartime production. Some display striking errors, double dies, or off-center strikes. And others have been preserved in mint state condition, never touched by human hands, glowing with their original copper-red luster as if they were struck yesterday. Those extraordinary examples command jaw-dropping prices when they appear at auction. Now think about this: imagine you are going through an old coin collection passed down from your grandparents. You stumble upon a shiny 1945 wheat penny. At first, you assume it is just a simple coin with sentimental value. But then you take it to a dealer or send it for professional grading, and suddenly you are told this coin, because of its perfect condition, its rarity, or a unique minting error, is worth nearly $1 million. That life-changing discovery has happened before, and it could happen again. That is why this coin is more than just metal. It is a link to history and also a key to potentially life-changing value. Today the coin market is thriving, with collectors worldwide constantly seeking the best examples of classic American coins. Auction houses have reported astonishing sales. A 1945 penny in pristine mint state red, graded at the very top by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can command prices that climb into the tens of thousands. And when an ultra-rare example with unique characteristic surfaces, the bidding wars begin, pushing the final hammer price into the stratosphere. That is where the famous figure of $996,000 comes in. It shows just how powerful demand can be when rarity meets condition and history. So why are collectors willing to pay such staggering amounts for this coin? The answer lies in the combination of nostalgia, scarcity, artistry, and investment potential. Nostalgia, because the wheat penny represents a bygone era of American life, an era when pennies still bought something, and Lincoln's image on the obverse symbolized enduring American values. Scarcity, because even though millions were minted, very few survived in flawless condition or with unique errors. Artistry, because Brenner's design has stood the test of time and remains one of the most beloved images ever placed on a United States coin. And finally, investment potential, because in a world where assets rise and fall, rare coins have consistently proven to hold and even grow in value over decades. As we move further into this video, we will explore how to identify valuable 1945 pennies, what collectors look for, and how the grading scale affects prices. For now, I want to emphasize that the coin you may have sitting in a jar or tucked away in a drawer might just be more important than you think. Even circulated examples can carry small premiums, while higher-grade coins can bring in serious money. That is why so many people today are turning to coin collecting not only as a hobby but also as a potential financial opportunity. Another fascinating layer to this story is the connection between the coin and the time period in which it was struck. Remember, 1945 was not only the end of World War II but also a year when America shifted from wartime production back to peacetime prosperity. The copper used in pennies during this time had previously been redirected to the war effort, leading to famous variations such as the 1943 steel cent. By 1945, copper was back in use, but the shortages and the transition still created circumstances where unusual errors and varieties appeared. Each one of these mistakes, preserved in the form of a coin, is like a frozen piece of history, carrying with it the story of a nation in transition. Collectors are historians at heart. When they hold a 1945 wheat penny, they are not only holding copper and design but also a moment in time. They are holding the memory of soldiers returning home, families rebuilding, factories retooling, and America moving forward. That emotional connection adds value beyond the numbers. It turns a coin into a story, and stories are priceless. So as we welcome you back to the channel today, think of this video as both a journey into the past and a look into the present market of rare coins. We will walk step by step through the features of the 1945 Liberty 1-cent wheat penny, show you how to distinguish ordinary examples from extraordinary treasures, and share the most recent sales that prove the market is alive and stronger than ever. Along the way, we will also reflect on why people are so drawn to these little pieces of history and why collectors around the globe are willing to pay nearly $1 million for what once was just pocket change. Stay tuned because by the end of this video you will not only know the story of the 1945 penny but also feel the thrill of coin collecting in your own hands. Who knows, maybe you already own one of these gems without realizing it. Today we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and legendary coins from the mid-20th century. We are focusing on the 1951 Liberty wheat penny from the United States of America. This coin, which many people have overlooked in their change jars and collections, has a history that is both rich and surprising. What might appear to be an ordinary old penny can in fact be a gateway into the world of high-value collectibles. Believe it or not, in the right condition and under the right circumstances, a coin that was once minted for just 1 cent has reached a market value of up to $881,000. That is almost unbelievable, yet true, and it shows why numismatics is one of the most fascinating hobbies and professions around today. So let us set the stage. The year is 1951. America is in the post-war era, the economy is booming, and millions of coins are being struck at the Denver Mint. Pennies featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the classic wheat stalks on the reverse were still being produced as part of the long-running Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which had started back in 1909. At the time, no one could have guessed that some of these coins, marked with a small d under the date to show they were made in Denver, would one day become prized possessions for collectors around the world. People used them to buy candy, newspapers, and gum. Kids carried them in their pockets to the corner store. To most people in 1951, they were nothing special. But time changes everything. The design of the wheat penny itself deserves a moment of appreciation. On the front side, or obverse, you see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials VDB can be seen subtly on the coin, and this design was originally created in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears above, liberty is on the left, and the year of mintage, in this case 1951, sits just to the right of Lincoln's profile with the D mint mark below it. On the reverse you find two stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum. Simple, powerful, and instantly recognizable. This was the standard look of the wheat cent until 1958, after which the reverse design changed to the Lincoln Memorial. Now when we talk about the 1951 D wheat penny, most circulated examples are worth only a few cents or maybe $1 or $2 depending on grade. They were struck in huge numbers, with over 686 million produced at the Denver Mint alone. But here is where it gets interesting. Certain examples, preserved in extraordinary condition, with sharp strikes, original red luster, and no damage, can command staggering prices. Coin collectors and grading companies have placed extreme value on those rare specimens that survive in mint state red condition, especially at grades MS67 or higher. The highest quality coins are incredibly scarce, almost like finding a needle in a haystack, and that is why the price can climb into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Think about it for a moment. A penny that was once used to buy bubble gum has now sold at auction for nearly $900,000. That is the magic of rarity, condition, and collector demand. The coin market rewards perfection, and the 1951 D wheat cent has proven that in dramatic fashion. Imagine going through a collection passed down from your grandparents, or searching through rolls of old wheat pennies, and discovering one flawless coin that could change your life. That is why videos like this exist, to share knowledge and help you understand what to look for. The story of the 1951 D penny also connects us with American history. During the early 50s, copper cents were an essential part of daily life. Inflation had not yet eroded their buying power. Kids could buy candy for a penny or two. Newspapers often cost just a few cents. These little copper coins circulated everywhere, and yet some survived untouched, kept in jars, envelopes, and collections. It is those carefully preserved survivors that now stand out in the world of numismatics. Collectors today look at several factors when determining value. First is the grade, which ranges from poor to mint state gem quality. Next is the color designation, with brown, and red being the three categories. Red coins, with their original copper shine, are the most sought after and most valuable. Then there is strike quality, eye appeal, and rarity at the top levels. The combination of all these details is what turns an ordinary wheat penny into a six-figure treasure. The market for rare coins is stronger than ever. Auctions have proven that people are willing to pay record prices for the finest known examples. For the 1951 D penny, the most famous sale reached an astounding $881,000, making headlines in the coin collecting world. Every time a record like that is set, it sparks new interest among collectors and treasure hunters. Suddenly, everyone wants to check their old coins, hoping to uncover a fortune hidden in plain sight, and this is not just about money. Collecting coins is about history, artistry, and preservation. When you hold a 1951 D wheat penny in your hand, you are touching a piece of the past, a reminder of post-war America, of simpler times, of the era when Lincoln wheat cents were still part of everyday change. The beauty of numismatics is that it combines passion with possibility. Some people collect for enjoyment, others for investment, but everyone is united by curiosity and respect for these small but meaningful artifacts. So in this video we are going to explore every angle of the 1951 D wheat penny. We will cover its history, design, production numbers, what makes it rare, how to identify valuable examples, the role of coin grading, and the incredible stories of big money sales at auction. We will also talk about how to care for your coins, how to avoid damaging them, and how to get them evaluated if you suspect you have a valuable piece. By the end of this journey, you will understand exactly why this coin has become one of the most fascinating pennies in American history and why it continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. So buckle up, grab your coin collection, and stay tuned, because the story of the 1951 D Liberty wheat penny is more than just about copper and cents. It is about opportunity, history, and the thrill of discovery. Somewhere out there, another coin could be waiting to be found, and who knows, maybe you will be the one to find the next penny worth nearly $1 million. Welcome back to the channel, and let's get started on this incredible adventure.